Hello and welcome back. This is Rob Rasco, and I'm here to talk about our Brand Saftey Summit, which is kicking off in Singapore on April 30th. Please go to brandsafetysummit.com to pick up your ticket. Today, I'm here with Yean Cheong, who's going to be telling us a little bit about the summit and also telling us a bit about herself. So Yean, please introduce yourself.
Well, hi everyone. I'm Yean Cheong, and I'm based in Singapore. I've actually been, I guess, in digital space, for more than 2 decades now. So that's kind of giving a little bit away about my age, but I don't really care about that. I'm really excited to be here. I mean, I worked around the region. I'm recently from IPG. So I've also been working with a lot of global clients, brands, as well as, basically with a lot of counterparts across the region as well as globally. So really excited to be part of the summit and very excited to be working with Rob and his team.
Yeah, and after we co-host the summit, you'll be able to add MC to your resume. How exciting. What do you think people are going to take away from the summit we have in Singapore?
Apart from, the best practice and our craft, but it's also really how do we as an industry is going to work together to actually ride out this situation, right? Because, while we are working from home, we are working.
What have you learned specifically about the benefits from working from home? Are there any?
I kind of feel like that's actually made us more appreciative, of being connected, and I also find that this actually, for me especially, is that, and obviously I already have this habit of doing conference calls, but it's also made us being more concise with things that we want to talk about. When we have that half an hour, when we have, an hour, we want to make sure that, we're just getting onto the topics. And I kind of feel that's pretty constructive. And I hope that, post COVID-19, some of the good habits that we've got.
What do you think you're going to miss most, or what's the first thing you're going to do when this all gets over with?
Well, I would say the first thing we'll do is we're going to hang out with our friends. I mean, we do actually go out. We can go out cycling and exercise, etc. So it's not necessarily. I mean, we don't necessarily have a lockdown. So we still have some freedom.
Yeah, it seems to me that everybody's going to try to have some kind of celebration when this is over. Get together with friends, have some fun. Is the issue of brand safety, kind of getting on the topic of the conference we're about to put together, is the issue of brand safety just as important now? Is it more important now? Tell us about how you think about the importance of the issue of brand safety in this time.
It is very much, the heart of our craft. So I guess, we've always been championing the conversation. So it's always been important, and more so important in this region is because the concept of the awareness of brand safety does actually differ by market, by category sometimes. And it's actually really interesting because the way you talk about brand safety in Singapore as compared to markets like China, Japan, Korea, and then into the Southeast Asia, and even with Australia, they all, have a slightly different view or even different position. And some of them are kind of talking about it just more of a measurement perspective. Some of them are obviously talking about it from a brand safe content perspective. So it has always been a very hot topic. And also, I guess historically, we've always looked to the West to see why it's important and how is it important and how is it evolving. And we found that a lot of times these conversations, by the time it gets to our region, we need to basically localize it. We need to make it relevant to our partners and as well as the brand advertisers. So that's why it's a really important topic for us.
When you think about the marketplace in Asia, doing this event in Singapore, which of the two concepts rise to the top in your thinking? Is it trust and transparency? Is it brand safety? Is it both? How do you think about those concepts?
I would say there's an additional layer to that. It's also that the trust and transparency, I guess, definition does actually differ by market, but it also differs depending on which side of the ecosystem you're coming from. Right. So obviously, from an advertiser's perspective, there has been call for transparency around the practice. But you'll find that in some markets, that's not necessarily the top of the list, only because in some markets, they operate, the kind of, it's a bit of a seller's market, or, basically we have walled gardens and things like that. So it is then about what is that transparency? What does that mean? What are things that will actually, ensure that, we actually being trusted by, our partners as well as by consumers. So, in speaking to a lot of advertisers that I work with, some of them are even saying that, in markets like China, right? If you talk about them, do they necessarily, feel that they have privacy, for example? Are things operated very transparently? I would say that they will have a slightly different yardstick and therefore maybe slightly different goalposts than other markets. So that makes the conversation quite volatile and actually really dynamic as well.
Got it. Well, you know what? We're going to save that content for the summit because
Yes.
you and I we're going to be hosts, and we'll ask the questions. Thanks everyone for joining us, and we hope to see you at 9 a.m. Singapore time. Again, you can grab your tickets at brandsafetysummit.com, and we can't wait to see you.
See you soon. Thank you.